Daily home practice that changed my English. You know, when I look back at the time when speaking English felt impossible for me, I smile. Not because it was easy, but because those difficult moments taught me the most valuable lessons. There was a period when I avoided speaking English in front of others because I was afraid of making mistakes. I had many thoughts and opinions in my mind, but when the moment came to speak, the words simply didn't come out. I remember listening to people who spoke English fluently and wondering how they made it sound so natural and effortless. Sometimes I even believed that maybe English was only for talented people, not for someone like me. But one day I stopped doubting myself and asked a simple question. If thousands of people learn English every day, why can't I learn it too? That single question changed the way I looked at learning. I understood that fluency is not a gift that some people are born with. It is something built slowly through daily practice and patience. I didn't have a special teacher or an expensive course. I only had my room, my determination, and a small habit of practicing English every day. And those small moments of practice slowly started changing everything. How did that happen? Let me share the simple routine that helped me transform my English. English is more than just a language. It is a habit that grows stronger every day you use it. Like any other skill, it becomes powerful through repetition, patience, and daily effort. When I began improving my English, I didn't start with complicated grammar books or long lessons. I started with something simple. I started with listening. Yes, just listening. Every morning, I played English videos, podcasts, and short talks. I didn't worry about understanding every single word. My goal was different. I wanted to feel the rhythm of the language. I wanted to hear how sentences flow and how confident speakers express their ideas. At first, it felt confusing. Most of the words passed by without meaning. But I didn't stop. Day after day, I kept listening, and slowly, something interesting began to happen. My brain started recognizing patterns. Certain phrases started sounding familiar. Some expressions began to make sense without translation. I realized that learning a language is not only about studying it. It is also about allowing your mind to absorb it naturally. After listening for some time, I decided to take the next step. I started speaking. But there was one problem. I didn't have a partner to practice with. No classmates, no teacher, no conversation group. For a moment, I thought that meant I couldn't improve. Then I understood something important. You don't always need another person to start speaking. Sometimes you only need the courage to talk to yourself. So I stood in front of the mirror and began speaking English out loud. At first, it felt strange. I talked about simple things. I described my day. I shared my thoughts. I spoke about my plans and dreams. Some days I didn't know what to say, so I spoke about anything around me. And slowly, that mirror became my practice space. I began to realize that speaking English is not about being perfect. It is about expressing your ideas clearly and confidently. Of course, I made many mistakes. Sometimes my sentences were wrong. Sometimes I forgot words. But I kept speaking anyway, because every time I spoke, something improved. My tongue became more comfortable with the sounds. My sentences became smoother. My confidence became stronger. Another small habit helped me a lot. I began writing every day. Not long essays, just one short paragraph. Sometimes I wrote about what I learned that day. Sometimes I wrote about my feelings. Other times I simply described something interesting that happened to me. This small writing routine changed the way I understood English. Instead of memorizing grammar rules, I started seeing how sentences naturally work. I noticed how words connect together. I learned how ideas flow from one sentence to the next. Writing helped my mind organize thoughts in English. Later, I added another powerful habit to my routine. Before going to sleep, I started reading aloud. I opened simple English books, blogs, or articles and read them out loud. This helped my mouth practice the sounds of the language. Reading aloud improved my pronunciation and helped me understand the natural rhythm of English sentences. Little by little, these habits became part of my daily life. They were simple actions, but together they created a big transformation. I stopped waiting for motivation. Instead, I built discipline. There were days when I felt tired. There were days when I thought I wasn't improving at all. But I reminded myself of one important truth. Even slow progress is still progress. So I kept practicing. And slowly, my English began to change. As my confidence grew, I started exploring new ways to practice English at home. One of the most helpful things I did was watching movies and videos in English. At first, I depended heavily on subtitles. I read almost every line while listening carefully to the dialogue. This helped me connect written words with spoken sounds. But something interesting happened after some time. Slowly, I noticed that I didn't need subtitles as much as before. My ears had already become familiar with many common expressions. I could understand conversations more naturally. That was the moment I truly realized how powerful daily exposure can be. The more you surround yourself with a language, the more natural it becomes. So I made a small decision. I started changing my environment. I switched my phone language to English. My playlists, my favorite videos, even the content on my social media feed became English. Instead of treating English as a subject to study, I made it part of my daily life. This simple change created constant practice without extra effort. Every morning, I also followed a very small exercise that helped me think in English. It only took a few minutes. I looked around my room and described what I saw. There is a chair near the window. The sunlight is coming through the curtain. My notebook is on the table. These simple descriptions trained my brain to form sentences without translating from another language. And thinking directly in English changed everything. Because when your mind begins thinking in English, speaking becomes much easier. There was another lesson I learned during my journey. Many learners focus too much on accent. They want to sound exactly like native speakers. But I realized something important. Clarity matters more than accent. Your goal is not to sound perfect. Your goal is to be understood. When people clearly understand your ideas, communication becomes successful. So, instead of chasing perfection, I focused on clear expression. Another habit that helped me improve was recording my own voice. Sometimes I opened my phone and recorded short clips while speaking English. Then I listened to those recordings carefully. At first, it felt uncomfortable hearing my own voice, but it became a powerful learning tool. I could notice my mistakes. I could hear which words were unclear. And with time, I could also hear my improvement. Slowly, my hesitation began to disappear. The fear of speaking English started fading away. Because I realized something very important. No one speaks perfectly all the time. Even native speakers make mistakes. so there is no reason to feel ashamed while learning. Confidence doesn't come from knowing every single word. Confidence comes from using the words you already know. Today, when I speak English confidently, I remember the quiet moments that built this ability. The moments when I spoke to the mirror. The nights when I wrote a short paragraph in my notebook. The mornings when I listened to English while doing simple chores. Those small, invisible efforts slowly created a strong foundation. And if you are sitting at home thinking you cannot improve your English, let me tell you something. You absolutely can. Fluency does not require expensive schools or special courses. All it requires is consistency. Start with just a few minutes each day. Listen to something meaningful in English. Speak one sentence about your day. Write a few lines in a notebook. Read one page aloud. Repeat this simple routine every day. Your English may not change overnight, but day by day, sentence by sentence, it will grow stronger. Just like a small seed slowly grows into a strong tree. One day, you will notice the difference. You will understand conversations more easily. You will reply in English without translating, and you will feel confident expressing your thoughts. Always remember this. English is not about where you studied. It is about how much you practiced when nobody was watching. So keep practicing, keep learning, and keep believing in your progress. Because the real secret of fluency is simple. Daily home practice. Practicing English at home may sometimes feel lonely. You might think that because no one is watching you, your effort does not matter. But the truth is very different. Every moment you spend practicing is building something powerful inside you. It is building confidence, clarity, and a voice that will one day speak without fear. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Speak even if your sentences are simple. Write even if your grammar is not perfect. Read even if some words feel unfamiliar. Listen even when understanding feels difficult. Because every small action you take is slowly improving your English in ways you may not notice yet. One day, something surprising will happen. You will respond in English without translating. You will understand a conversation naturally. You will express your ideas more clearly than before. And in that moment, you will realize that all those quiet hours of home practice were shaping your progress. You will also understand something important. You didn't need expensive courses or a perfect environment. What you truly needed was consistency, patience, and the courage to keep going. Maybe one day someone will ask you how you improved your English, and you will smile and say that you practiced at home, a little every day. No shortcuts, no magic tricks, just daily effort and belief in yourself. So take that first step today. Remember, fluency is not built in a single day. It grows through daily practice. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing that your effort will turn English into your strength.